Hello everyone, good afternoon. In this session, we will be starting with module 5. Okay, so the last last class was ended with association rule mining. So next, starting with module 5. So let me give an overview of module 5 before getting into the first topic. So module 5 we will be talking about text mining, and one more important thing related to text mining is naive Bayes analysis. That is what we call naive Bayes probability theorem. And the next one is so SVM, support vector missions, and next to that web mining and social network analysis. So these are the things that we will be discussing in this module 5. So let's start with the first topic called text mining. See, text mining is a part of data mining. You know what is called mining, right? So mining is a process of extracting. We are going to extract some knowledgeable data or some valuable information from the given data set, and for this we employ a number of data mining algorithms techniques, and that comes under either supervised or unsupervised. Okay, so text mining is where we will be looking for a pattern, or where we will be looking for we will be searching from a textual database. We'll be doing things with a textual database. And let me take one thing. Okay, so text mining is where you'll be looking for a textual database, and mostly text mining we use to find the frequency analysis, I mean the frequency of words. And the other thing is like if you're given a word and what kind of word it is. If you have certain word, that word has to be categorized, either it is a part of like related to cricket or related to football or related to hockey, something like that. So in that manner also I can start my keys, I can start my search and I can do it. So like this is how it works. Okay, so this is one of the important topic in data mining. So we apply text mining on large social media data sets like in Facebook, Twitter, and to find the sentiment analysis. See, this sentiment analysis, or how to find like behavior of a person. Like I want to characterize the behavior of a person. So I can't judge the person behavior directly, right? I will be asking some questions, and the response that I am getting, after that only I can decide, I mean I can conclude what kind of character he is, or what kind of behavior that he exhibits, or I can call like a features of that particular person. And to do this, what I need to do is, first I will be asking few questions, right? And after the responses, that is called a text. And whatever the response out of the question that I apply to that problem is more important, and the responses that I get is more important. So based on that I can analyze. So it is what textual analyzing. So based on the data, that is even sentiment analysis, it is also like how sentimental you are, or like how emotional you are. It is something like not like observing a video, or not like capturing a video. It is something I will be observing you. I mean like I will be analyzing your characteristics, I will be analyzing your behaviors. That I will be doing by, I will be providing you few queries, and based on your responses and based on your answers I can analyze. That is what sentiment analysis is also doing. So based on the text data which is obtained from Facebook or Twitter, we can do these kind of things. And even we can talk about ranking, that also works in the same manner. Okay, and here there are few text mining examples, like one in legal profession, academic research. In research you can talk about text mining. There are a number of places we use text mining. So text mining is a separate part. It is, I mean like it is a separate ocean. So it is a part of data mining where it is separate thing. And if I talk about a classification, I can use the classification in text mining. If I talk about clustering, I can use clustering in text mining. Even classification is supervised, and clustering is unsupervised, but I can apply both of the data mining techniques on text mining. Okay, so text mining can be performed, or text mining can be done with a number of data mining techniques. Okay, so in that one particular data mining technique that we will be discussing is naive Bayes analysis. That will be the next part of this. And in the world of finance, and in medicine, in marketing, in world of technology and such. And let's see this all examples. So text mining applications. So first one, marketing. So like here what it is doing is like the voice of the customer, what the customer is telling, and that data has to be taken. So based on that you can go for customer preferences and complaints. See for example like SBI is taking a survey. Taking a survey means like even recently Facebook has changed its UI. The interface of the Facebook, the interface layer of Facebook is little bit more updated, and there was a new version Facebook was there in the market, right? There was a new version of the Facebook was there in the market, and if you are feeling difficulty with that, you can continue with the same standard comfortable man. And if you're not able to cope up with the updated interface layer, then it will be asking you few queries. What are the insights or what are the problems that you are facing? So it is where something I'm going to collect the preferences. So based on that I can decide. Even when SBI is migrated from its old version to new version, there was a number of surveys over there. So then after those surveys, once if your survey is more than I mean like if it is more than 80% is it is showing the new one is right, then you can go with the new one. Or 80% of customers satisfied only with the old version, then old version with new features that can be inbuilt within the version instead of changing the platform. Okay, that is the one thing. And here you can see, as I told you, like classification and clustering. One is unsupervised, one is supervised. And you can see clustering technique, it is unsupervised, right? So like in social persons and like in social media where I'm collecting some kind of tweets, or like as I told you, as I told you about social network analysis, I mean sentiment analysis. I'm going to collect the data from a set of people, and again there I can't specify what kind of group, what kind of people I'm going to get collect. That is most important. See, I can collect data from a group of age of that lies in between 25 to 30. That can be a cluster A, and those who are ages being 30 to 35 can be cluster B. Similarly I can have some n number of clusters. And similarly like as I told you, like feedbacks, same. And decision trees. See, once if like if I get some call center customer and data, if I get some data from BPOs, like if the BPO company is providing your data, if your BPO call center is providing your data, or it is selling your data to, let me take an insurance company, and the insurance company gets the data by paying some amount, right? So after getting that data, how it is going to use the data, that is most important. It has to validate it. It has to validate the data, and it has to validate the information, and they can't go and contact directly all the people, right? They can't go and interact with each and every person in the link, every person in the data set, and they have to filter it out according who's match who's they have to filter it, and they need to take only those who matches to their criteria. And that is also one type of decision tree. So like in doing business operation, like a social network analysis, blogs or social media. So this is what I told you, like sentiment analysis, emotional state. So all these are being recorded with the help of text, with the help of textual patterns. Okay. And even if you are like going for any mass psychology, if you are going for any kind of treatment, also in medicine also you can see, like I need to find your behavior. For this I will be asking you few queries. Maybe some may be strongly related to it, some may be neutral to it, some may be high, some may be lowly related to it. So based on that, like high, neutral, low, I can decide. So in legal applications, which we are discussing, right? In legal applications, like in e-discovery platforms, lawyers, you can see what are the chances of winning, like relevant documents that they get, and how far those documents are relevant to the case. For this example, you can take cyber crimes. You can take some of the cyber crimes, and this which kind of category it is getting, which sort of category that is falling into it, and which law states this act, which law states this act. That also can be get categorized using text mining, and client meetings, and government and politics. So it is one of the most important platform. See, like in social network analysis, we use text mining, which is applied on large social media, and also like secure in providing secure application like internet chat using WhatsApp and Facebook. Everywhere we apply mining, right? Everywhere we apply mining, And now we apply mining in huge data, that is big data analytics. Even big data analytics has text mining in it. Okay, big data analytics also has text mining in it. Here the input that I will be getting in the form of text, the thing that I will be going to process in the form of textual document or text. Okay, and now let's see what is the process behind text mining, and next let us have an example over it. So text mining process, so text mining as a semi-automated process, and now we have few more algorithm techniques where it works entirely as a automated process also it is there. And there are 3 steps. First one is the text and documents are first gathered into a corpus and organized. You need to group a set of related things. For I mean, like these things can be categorized under this particular thing, these things can be categorized under this particular categorical item, this can be categorized into particular categorical item. And you should make next we can you can even apply this for a structured text in a direct format. And you need to apply some pre-processing things on it. And second thing, this corpus, that what you are getting as like a thing group, then that has to be analyzed for the structure. And after analyzing that, we will be getting the result in terms of like matrix mapping important terms to source documents. And that I will show you a example in the next slide. And third, the structured data is then analyzed for word structure, sequences and frequency. See, for example, I told you like I have a term Dhoni plays cricket. Okay, similarly Dhoni plays cricket, I have some number of statements like this relating to sports. Like there can be one person like ABC plays football. And if I were given you a textual document, you need to analyze it, and you need to separate the sentences related to games, and you need to separate the sentences related to politics, and you need to separate the sentences related to government, or you need to separate the words related to government, you need to separate the words related to games. It can be of any manner. So it is where it is how the textual mining is applied. It is a mining process, and how we are doing this is most important. Okay, I hope this makes sense, you can understand. See, establish the corpus of text. First you need to gather the document, then make clean and pre-process it, then you need to analyze it, right? So structure using term document matrix, it is called TDM. So where you will be having a bag of a set of words, and then you can find a number of frequencies or occurrence of it, and then apply data mining tools like a classification or cluster analysis. It can be anything, it depends on the task. Okay, so now let's see what is our TDM. So as I told you, like a TDM, it is a hard for structuring process where free flowing text will be transformed into numeric data, which then can be mined using our regular data mining techniques. And the first technique, I mean the first step towards is this, the technique used for structuring is called bag of words technique, or it is also called as like T by D. So T by D represents that is text by document matrix, T by D text by document matrix. And we need to create a TDM, text by document matrix, and which choices of it is up to us. What are the terms to be get included, what are the terms to be get excluded, it is up to us. And like, and here you can see this is term document matrix. See, you have given 6 documents, you have given some number of documents. In that I have taken 6 documents, and in this document 1, the term related to investment is 10, and the term related to profit is 4, the term related to happy is 3, the term related to success is 4. Similarly, this is a representation of term document matrix. Okay, so it is a representation of term document matrix. And here are some considerations in creating a term document matrix, which is called like a bag of words. Okay, so it is always to be like if I'm searching, as I told you, Dhoni is playing cricket, or some other name ABC is playing football, and if I'm trying to categorize the word, if categorize means categorical, for example, if I'm trying categorize the word like football, I should know that this football is a term that will be categorized, means that will be classified under games. So it is where we apply classification or supervised. Okay, so like categorizing, I need to know to which group it is going to get belong, that should be known before to me, right? And even synonyms, if there are any nearby words, if there are any alternate words near to it, it is having its same meaning, those words also has to be picked up. Okay, those words are, for example, like in the account of, it can be like in the account of, or by considering. Both are representing the same most similar common meaning, and like these synonym words has to be picked out and can be categorized into which group you want to do it. Okay. And second, we should make sure that like data should be clean from spelling errors. If there are small spelling errors or spelling mistakes are there, then our result may not be that much accurate, or if there are any noisy data, if there are error in it, our result that we compute much may not be much accurate results. And third, when many variants of the same term are used, then the most important term can be taken into account. For example, like a customer order, ordering, you have some order data, order information. For all this, the common term I can take as order ID or order. So that I can make use of this term, I can ignore all the other terms. Okay, so these are the considerations, and here it is one more called homonyms. I mean the terms with same spelling but different meaning. We have some sentence, we have some words in English which has the same spelling but different meanings, and you can see sometimes the 2 to 3 words will be having same pronunciation. Even when you are writing, you can see the difference in spelling. So this can be of any case. Like here you can see. So this is one example for this homonyms. And next, like terms with very few occurrences in very few documents should be eliminated from the matrix. See, if I'm looking like if I'm getting only one time the document is being repeating, this document is holding only one data or only one text, then that particular thing can be ignored. And second thing is, and the drawback here is, if I don't find any particular word, or if I don't find any particular text in which it can be categorized, then that text will be ignored. That will not be taken into account. Then the document level is going to be 0. So in that case, that this has a little small drawback in text mining. Okay. And next, like the measures, their measures in each cell of the matrix could be one of several possibilities, and it could also be by the log of that number, and this I will tell you binary values in matrix. Okay. And here there's a small comparison between text mining and what is called data mining. So text mining, the nature it is, and it can handle unstructured data, it can handle phrases, sentences, it can handle structured data. And data mining, it is a vast part of it. It can handle numbers, alphabetical, logical values, it can be of anything. Even the text mining is a part of data mining. Okay. The languages which we are used in text mining. So many languages or dialects used in the world. I mean, into separate group, into separate area. And here you can see like similar numerical items across the world. We have n number of techniques. And clarity and precision. And this precision and recall, there are two most important terms in data mining. And when you talk about the results for accuracy, we use these two terms, precision and recall. Okay. So sentences can be ambiguous. Sentiment may contradict the words. So this is from where sentences you will be getting into sentiment. It is kind of like a word analysis, and your numbers are precise. And consistency. Different parts of the text can contradict each other, and here different parts of data can be inconsistent. And sentiment, you can say it is clearly like social media sentiment or something we can do, but data mining, it is not applicable, since this is a part of data mining. And quality, spelling errors, we are like the spelling error should be ignored, and like issues with missing values, outliers, and so on. Nature of analysis is keyword based search, and it is one of the major research area where a number of researchers are doing their PhDs, like keyword based research and sentiment mining. And if I mean here it is a wide range of machine learning analysis for relationship and differences. Okay. So as I told you, like we'll be talking about the next important term called naive Bayes analysis, right? Naive Bayes analysis. See, naive Bayes analysis is a technique, and again I'm telling you that it is a supervised technique. It is a supervised learning technique. So it is a classification based supervised learning technique, and which will help you to categorize, or which will help you to predict the probability, which will help you to predict the probability, or to predict the probability of result of a class which is occurring. That can be done with naive Bayes analysis. So it is a supervised machine learning technique that uses probability theory based analysis. and here we will be trying to find out this predict the target classes, right? So probabilities of an instances of belonging to many target classes given the prior probabilities of classification using individual factors. And let me brief this is next slide. Okay, so first point, it is a classification technique as I told you, and with an assumption of independence among predictors. And second, it assumes that the presence of a particular feature in a class is unrelated to the presence of any other feature. I mean, you can take a fruit as an example, like apple. So how I can conclude that it is an apple? I mean, like it should be red in color, and it is like a round in shape, and it should about 3 inches in diameter. So these are features which helps me to decide that it is an apple. And even if these features depends on each other or upon the existence of the other features, all these things are independently contributed, which contributes it to find it the fruit is an apple. So this is where we will call it as like a naive Bayes analysis. Okay, so this is a Bayes theorem. So this is we call naive Bayes theorem, so which is a way to calculate posterior probability, like under conditional probability. And here you can see posterior probability. It means finding the probability of the thing or of the object or of the item after that's occurrence. That is posterior probability. Okay, so you can see posterior probability of a class given predictor target. So it is something which is doing calculating its probability after its occurrence. Okay, so calculating the probability after its occurrence. This likelihood is predicting in prior. Okay, so this class prior probability, like you can see, probability of C by X is the posterior probability of class. It is prior probability is finding the probability of that particular object item before it is occurring. That is prior probability. Posterior probability after its occurrence. Okay, and this P of X basically is the likelihood, chances of happening. There is a probability of predictor given class, and it is prior probability of predictor. So these are the terms related to this naive Bayes analysis. And once if you get this, you will get the probability value, right? So based on your probability value, you can conclude, you can decide to which category it can be classified, or you can come out with the result. Either you can go for predicting the result, predicting the prediction. Okay, so applications of naive Bayes, one is real-time prediction, so which is a easy learning classifier, and this can be used for making predictions in real time. This can also be used along with the other data mining techniques. Second, multi-class prediction, so this works with multi-class prediction feature. And third, it supports in text classification, spam filtering, sentiment analysis. See, when you get an email, so this will help you to find either the email is spam email or the other email. And here the way that it does is like, if it does email isn't received, if it outcome it is finding it is a spam email. Mostly the spam emails or the email address with an inappropriate name or with an unappropriate you can see the domain, so that outcome will not be there. Some inappropriate domain names will be there. And second thing, so when there are inappropriate means, you can see that will be a bulk email sent from a group, so from a single group again and again bulk emails. In that way you can separate it. And third, recommendation system. This we have discussed much more thing in recommendation system, like Amazon recommendation systems. So we use machine learning and data mining techniques to filter unseen information and predict whether a user would like to given a resource or not. So this is a recommendation system. And pros and cons of naive Bayes. So one, it is easy to predict, and second, when assumption of independence holds, this model works better than logistic regression. And third, it performs well in case of categorical input variables when compared to numerical variables. And for numerical variable like normal distribution, we can use regression and other things. And these are the pros and cons. Let's see. And as I told you, like one drawback in considering this text mining, as I told you, like when it does not find an item in its data set, then the zero probability will be assigned for prediction. And this is known as a bad estimator. In some cases the prediction may not be taken too seriously, since we are comparing two things. One is before probability and after it's before it is occurrence, and next after it is occurrence. So these are the pros and cons of naive Bayes analysis. And in this topic, like naive Bayes analysis, I'll be giving you an assignment, a problem, so which you need to solve that using naive Bayes analysis. Okay, so it is a small problem related to prediction, and that will be given as your assignment, and you need to work out on this naive Bayes analysis and to come out with the result. Okay, thank you.